Hello, Toon Army. What a brilliant day to be talking about our magnificent Newcastle United, the best team in the world. I can feel the passion flowing through St. James Park as always, and I've got some important topics to discuss with all you devoted Magpies out there. Now then, before we dive into today's discussions, I've got two burning questions for you passionate Newcastle supporters that I know will get the comments section buzzing. What are your thoughts on our brand new third kit that's just been released? Are you planning to get your hands on one? And do you prefer the pro version over the regular fan shirt? And regarding our upcoming preseason tour to South Korea, how important do you think it is for Newcastle to handle international relations properly as we continue to grow our global fan base? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm absolutely dying to hear what the Toon Army thinks about these developments. Right then, let's start with the positives, because there's always something to celebrate when you support the greatest team in black and white stripes. Our brand new third kit has dropped today, and I've got to say, as someone who's seen it up close and personal, this shirt is an absolute beauty. The craftsmanship and attention to detail that's gone into this kit really shows, and you can tell that Newcastle United and Adidas have put serious thought into creating something special for us supporters. The material quality, especially on the pro version, is genuinely outstanding. When you feel the difference between the standard fan shirt and the pro version, it's like comparing two completely different garments. The pro shirt feels premium, lightweight, and exactly what you'd expect our players to be wearing when they're representing our beloved club on the pitch. The retro badge is a lovely touch that connects us to our rich history, and overall, the design strikes that perfect balance between modern innovation and classic Newcastle tradition. The promotional video that accompanied the launch was actually brilliantly put together from a production standpoint. Seeing our club legends, current players, and even Sam Fender all coming together to celebrate Newcastle United was genuinely heartwarming. These are the moments that remind you why supporting this club is more than just football. It's about community, heritage, and the unbreakable bond that connects every single person who loves Newcastle United. The concept was spot on, bringing together past and present to showcase not just a new kit, but the very soul of what makes Newcastle United special. However, and this is where things take a serious turn that we absolutely must address, there was a significant oversight that's resulted in the video being deleted from all our social media platforms within 24 hours of its release. This isn't about petty squabbles or personal grievances. This is about a genuine cultural sensitivity issue that has major implications for our club's reputation, particularly as we prepare for our preseason tour. The problem centers around the inclusion of what appears to be a rising sun flag in the promotional video. Now, for many of us here in England, this might seem like an innocent oversight, but the historical and cultural significance of this symbol in South Korea cannot be understated. To put it in perspective that we can all understand, many South Koreans view the rising sun flag with the same level of offense and hurt that we would associate with Nazi symbolism. It represents a period of brutal occupation and suffering that still resonates deeply within South Korean society today. What makes this situation particularly challenging is the timing. In just 3 weeks, Newcastle United will be traveling to South Korea as part of our preseason tour. This trip represents a massive opportunity for our club to expand our global fan base, connect with passionate supporters on the other side of the world, and showcase the Newcastle United magic to a whole new audience. Instead, we're now in a position where we've inadvertently caused offense before we've even stepped foot in the country. The scale of this oversight is genuinely concerning when you consider the number of people who would have been involved in creating, reviewing, and approving this content. We're talking about professional staff members, marketing experts, and decision-makers who are paid good money to ensure that Newcastle United's image and reputation are protected and enhanced. The fact that this slipped through multiple layers of review raises serious questions about our processes and procedures when it comes to international content and cultural awareness. This isn't just about one video or one mistake. It's about the standards we set as we continue to grow as a global football club. If Newcastle United wants to compete with the biggest clubs in the world, both on and off the pitch, we need to demonstrate that same level of excellence in every aspect of our operations. Cultural sensitivity and international awareness aren't optional extras. They're fundamental requirements for any club with global ambitions. The speed with which the video was removed shows that someone at the club recognized the severity of the situation, which is encouraging. However, the damage was already done, and now we're in reactive mode rather than being proactive about these issues from the start. As Newcastle fans, we know that our club's intentions were never malicious. This was clearly an honest mistake born from a lack of awareness, rather than any deliberate attempt to cause offense. But in today's interconnected world, intent doesn't always matter as much as impact, and the impact of this oversight could potentially affect our reception in South Korea and our broader reputation in Asian markets. Moving on to our squad situation, and this is where things get really interesting for us Newcastle supporters as we look ahead to the new season. Today marks a significant moment in our club's recent history because two key contracts have officially expired, those of Callum Wilson and John Ruddy. Now, while John Ruddy's departure was somewhat expected given his role as backup goalkeeper, it's the situation surrounding Callum Wilson that's got the Toon Army talking and thinking about what this means for our future. Let's be absolutely honest about Callum Wilson's contribution to Newcastle United over the years. This is a player who arrived at St. James's Park during some of our darkest times under Steve Bruce, and despite the chaos swirling around the club, he consistently delivered when we needed him most. That incredible season when we secured Champions League qualification, Wilson banged in 19 Premier League goals and was absolutely instrumental in achieving something that many of us thought we might never see again in our lifetimes. For many Newcastle supporters, Callum Wilson represents more than just goals and assists. He embodies that fighting spirit, that never-say-die attitude that we associate with the best Newcastle United players throughout our history. When the chips were down, when results weren't going our way, Wilson was often the player who stepped up and delivered those crucial moments that kept our Premier League dreams alive. His work rate, his professionalism, and his commitment to the Newcastle United cause have been exemplary throughout his time at the club. However, football is ultimately a business, and sometimes the hardest decisions are the right ones for the long-term success of the club. At this stage of Wilson's career, with the physical demands of Premier League football taking their toll, and with Newcastle United's ambitions reaching new heights under our current ownership, it might indeed be the right time to part ways and look toward the future. The fact that Newcastle haven't posted any farewell message or tribute to Wilson yet is fascinating and tells us quite a lot about the internal discussions that are probably still ongoing. In the modern game, clubs are usually very quick to announce departures and thank players for their service. The fact that this hasn't happened suggests that there might still be some uncertainty about Wilson's future at St. James's Park. This creates an interesting dilemma for Eddie Howe and the recruitment team. On one hand, keeping Wilson for another season would provide valuable experience, leadership, and a proven goal-scoring threat off the bench. His knowledge of the Premier League, his understanding of what it takes to succeed at this level, and his positive influence in the dressing room are all valuable assets that shouldn't be underestimated. On the other hand, Newcastle United's ambitions have evolved dramatically since Wilson first arrived at the club. We're no longer fighting relegation battles or hoping to scrape into European competitions. We're aiming to establish ourselves as genuine contenders for the biggest prizes in football. That level of ambition requires tough decisions about squad composition, wage structure, and the age profile of our playing staff. The resources that would be allocated to keeping Wilson could potentially be better invested in younger, hungrier players who fit the long-term vision that's being built at Newcastle United. When you're competing for Champions League places and looking to make an impact in European competition, every squad spot becomes precious, and every contract decision has to be evaluated through that lens. What's particularly important as we head into this crucial preseason period is that Newcastle United demonstrates ambition and progress to our global fan base, those supporters in South Korea, Singapore, and beyond who are planning to attend our preseason matches need to see that we're building something special. They need to see new signings, fresh faces, and evidence that Newcastle United is continuing to move forward rather than standing still. The timing of these contract decisions, combined with our upcoming international tour, creates a perfect opportunity for Newcastle to showcase our commitment to progress. Instead of relying on sentiment and past achievements, we can demonstrate that we're making decisions based on what's best for the future of the club. That's the kind of mentality that separates good clubs from great ones. As we prepare for matches against Tottenham and the Korean All-Star team, the focus should be on giving these international supporters something to get excited about. New signings, promising young players, tactical innovations. These are the things that will generate genuine enthusiasm and help build our global brand in the right way. The preseason tour to South Korea represents so much more than just a few friendly matches. It's an opportunity to repair any damage from the promotional video controversy, to connect with passionate supporters who might never get the chance to visit St. James's Park, and to demonstrate that Newcastle United is a club that respects and values its international fan base. For any South Korean supporters who might be reading this or watching our content, please know that the promotional video incident was genuinely an honest mistake. Newcastle United has tremendous respect for South Korean culture and history, and we're looking forward to experiencing the incredible passion and hospitality that Korean football fans are famous for worldwide. The key now is learning from these experiences and making sure that as Newcastle United continues to grow as a global brand, we do so with the cultural awareness, sensitivity, and professionalism that befits a club of our stature and ambition. Well, that's all from St. James's Park for today, lads and lasses. These are challenging times with important decisions being made, but that's what happens when you support a club that's genuinely ambitious about competing at the highest level. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Away the lads!